Well, Nintendo Switch Sports has arrived, and if it's half as successful as 2006 Wii Sports, Nintendo is going to have a major hit on their hands. Nintendo Switch has recently surpassed the Wii in sales, both of them selling in excess of 100 million units, so Nintendo Switch Sports has the potential to be absolutely huge, but can Nintendo pull it off? Well, today we're going to find out. In Nintendo Switch Sports, we've got 6 games to play, all fairly familiar if you are a fan of the series. So you've got tennis, badminton, football, chambara, volleyball, and also bowling too. Golf is coming to the game as well. That is going to round out the offer for now, but as you enter each sport, you're going to get a quick tutorial in what to do, and then it's right into the action with the sport. It is a little bit surprising you're thrown right in. In previous titles, Nintendo provided quite an in-depth tutorial for how to get used to the sports, but here, you're thrown into the action almost immediately. This does make it nice and quick to get into the action, however, if you don't know what you're doing, then the experience can be a little jarring. So bowling, tennis and badminton, all pretty straightforward. However, football, volleyball and especially chambara, slightly more in-depth and could do with a little bit more of a tutorial. Well, next up, let's have a look at all of these sports in a little bit more detail. So first of all, we've got tennis. Feels very similar to the tennis we've seen and we played before. You can use a variety of shots like forehand, backhand and a lob to outsmart your opponent. It does feel a little bit minimal. It doesn't really feel like it's come a long way in 16 years since it's been in the game. It's a fine implementation of tennis. Would have been nice to see a little bit more innovation from Nintendo. Chambara, well, that is a new one to me. Essentially, this is like sword fighting. So you and your opponent have a big stick. You have to batter them to knock them back and off their perch. So there's different weapons to choose from, and it's fun tempting your opponent into striking you and then whacking them to make them fall when they are off balance. So I'd not played the previous version of this called Sword Play from Wii Sports Resort, but it's really good fun and one that will be on the regular rotation. Well, volleyball is perhaps the most disappointing of all of them. The game feels really slow, players are automatically moved into position and the game options are quite limited. Now, I can see why the designers wanted it to be slow, so players can focus on the volleyball actions of the game, but the negative side effects are to a detriment to the whole game, and that ultimately puts me off the volleyball entirely. Football is very interesting to say the least. Whereas some of the sports are pick up and play, for this sport you need to know a little bit more, not only the rules of the game, but also the control scheme too, for the Nintendo Switch. The player uses the left stick to control the running, then you have to kick the ball to the goal with various button presses. So you've got 1v1, 4v4, practice mode, and also the easier penalty shootout mode as well. Though fun, it's probably the most awkward of all the games, and suffers the same fate as volleyball, as at times it feels sluggish and quite slow too. One of my favourite ones is badminton. That is great entertainment. Now this is a much quicker sport and has more emphasis on placing and timing and accuracy. It's also easy to pick up and play, it's intuitive and it's fast, so badminton is easily one of my preferred sports to play in the game, and also one where we had the most fun. Well, finally, you've got bowling, and that feels great, much like it has done since the earliest incarnation with Wii Sports Bowling back in 2006. With the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, you feel like you've got more control than ever, allowing you to put spin on the ball to create those special shots if needed. Bowling didn't need much doing to it to make it the best sport in the game, and thankfully Nintendo hasn't messed around with it too much. All of the games have a multiplayer component to them, and this is the feature that's going to get you coming back more time and time again with Nintendo Switch Sports. So I've been playing these sports and it's always a good time, and some of the games have 1 to 4 player support, meaning the whole family is going to be able to join in. While multiplayer offers some fun with other players, there is little variation in the actual games to keep you playing for long play sessions. So granted, you may be likely to get tired of longer play sessions, but still, more variety and features could be added over time to make Nintendo Switch Sports a little bit more engaging. Online play is available for matches, and it's fun jumping into the games with players from all around the world. This is a great feature, and one of the things I did to catch up with players I used to play with Wii Sports back in 2006, only this time we were online. I can imagine this is going to create some fun content for video game outlets, and it would be a really decent game on Christmas Day, with family members in different locations. It does suffer the same setbacks as local multiplayer. The game does need a little bit more variation or more game types. Well, that is it for the sports themselves, but there is more when it comes to your avatar, We used to have Mii's, and they are gone in favour of Sportsmates. You can customise the hairstyles, the clothes colours. Otherwise, that's about it when it comes to making your avatar your own. Many customisation options are locked behind the online play, meaning you have to jump online to be able to access those features. Nintendo are clearly wanting players to get online, although it would have been better to have all the customisation options available for all players without having to go online. There's also the concepts of collections too, where not all the cosmetics are available all at once. There's a rotating bunch of cosmetics available at one time, meaning you have to wait for the rotation to get everything. So if you've played a live service game before, then you can be used to this concept, but if you haven't, it can feel a little bit jarring, so do be aware of that if you are looking to jump in and customise your Sportsmate. Well, the graphics have had a major facelift, and things are looking much better than the Wii Sports days. The Sportsmates are detailed and generally look better than the Mii's, and Nintendo Switch games sometimes feel a bit like a lottery when it comes to performance, but Nintendo Switch Sports does really well and maintains a decent 60 FPS throughout the games. Overall, Nintendo Switch Sports is really good fun. The game feels like a first iteration though, with only a few sports on offer and limited online options. Hopefully, Nintendo will rectify this over time. However, at the moment the experience is fairly bare bones. So it's not to say the game isn't fun, it definitely is, and getting friends and family together locally or online is the best way to enjoy Nintendo Switch Sports for sure. Bowling and badminton are currently my top picks, but I'm also looking forward to what golf has to offer when that arrives later in 2022. Well, the game was developed by Nintendo, it was published by Nintendo, it's available on the Nintendo Switch, and it was originally released on the 30th of April 2022. Well, that is it for my review of Nintendo Switch Sports, especially one for the family. I think it's really, really good stuff. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. Hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again. I'll see you soon.